Now then, how are we doing? Welcome to another episode of Barnsley Biker Video Diaries, and I'm going to do another one of my tales from the showroom floor. As you can see, I'm back in workshop. I've been having a good old tidy up, getting ready to do one or two basic servicing jobs, changing fluids, etc. on my collection. So just trying to make a little bit of space. It's always hard work working in a standard size garage, so but we'll get on with it. But to get on to this episode's story, and to be fair, it's going to be two stories, but with a common theme. And I've called the episode Mind Your Language, which I think will become fairly obvious. And I think on this occasion I'll probably mention the names of the salesmen involved. I'm still good friends with one of them, and I don't think either of them will mind me mentioning their names. So yeah, the first one involves an episode, pair of brothers, Chinese brothers, young lads, late teens, early 20s, came into the showroom looking for a deal on a Suzuki TS125, if I remember rightly. They were reasonably well known in the area. They were the sons of the local Chinese takeaway owners, and we'd seen him in the showroom a couple of times. Anyway, this particular day, they'd wandered into the showroom and they'd been picked up by one of my younger salesmen, Mike, who followed due process, took them and sat them down at his desk and started going through the appraisal to find out exactly what it was they wanted. And to be fair, it was the younger of the brothers that was in the market for a new bike. He decided he wanted a TS125. He made it very clear from the start that it was going to be a cash deal, and he got a very, very clear idea of how much he ought to be paying for the bike. So Mike sat them down, took the basic contact details, etc., a brief appraisal of what it is they wanted, and again, following due procedures as we had in place at the time, went to see the sales manager, which was myself. Basically said, this is what I've got, these guys want to buy a bike, they seem keen, going to give me a deposit today, but this is the price. And we looked at it, and to be fair, the price, it wasn't worth us doing the deal. There wasn't, if anything, any meat left on the bone, and so I sent him away with a counter offer, which the two lads, quick conversation and rejected almost straight away. So I think Mike literally only came back into the office twice. Second occasion I had another look at it and basically said, I might have tweaked the deal, the counter offer a little bit, but basically said that's a take it or leave it, let them walk deal. I says there's no point as doing the deal if we have to go any less than that. So he went back and basically repeated what I'd said to these two young lads. That's the best we can do. If you're not happy at that, we're happy to let you walk. And I think Mike got the impression that the older of the two brothers was sort of thinking, okay, sounds like a fair offer, and he was trying to persuade his younger brother to take the deal. There then followed a conversation in, I'm not sure which dialect of Chinese, probably Cantonese, but there followed a conversation in Chinese between the two brothers, which became a little bit heated, with the younger brother basically determined to stand his ground on the price. He was adamant he was going to get the deal that he'd originally come in to get, and was going to settle for no less. And I think the older brother was sort of trying to persuade him that, you know, if he wanted the bike, he may have to compromise a little bit. At this point, during this heated conversation, the younger brother in particular started throwing around several insults about Mike, the salesperson, about his appearance, his questionable parentage, his intelligence, literally getting quite rude. At which point Mike interrupted the two brothers in their conversation, and in perfect Cantonese, whatever the dialect was, told them what he thought of what they'd been saying about him, told them in no uncertain terms that the deal on the table was the only deal they were going to get today, and that it was repeated again in their language. It was a take it or walk away deal. Literally, you could have heard a penny drop. The two lads were stunned into silence, looked at each other. The older brother basically told the younger brother, take the deal, and the younger brother agreed there and then, yeah, okay, I'll take the deal. What these two young lads had failed to realise was, Mike, I believe his parents, his father, had been in the army or one of the armed forces, and had spent several years, I think somewhere in the region of 10, 11 years, based in Hong Kong when Mike was a toddler growing up. So Mike had done a lot of his growing up years in Hong Kong and was happy to mix with the local kids on the street and play with them, and had learned to speak their language and understood every word that these two Chinese lads were saying, and every insult, literally. Which just goes to show, never underestimate who you're negotiating with, and karma can be a wonderful thing. So they took the bike, they paid the price, and we got the deal. So yeah, one of the ones that I still laugh about. The second story that I'm going to share with you, similar theme, language involved. Basically, again, it was probably afternoon, latish afternoon, summer's day. I was stood talking with one of the other sales guys, I don't know who it was, which salesman it was, near the double showroom doors at the top of the showroom, where we used to bring bikes in and out. And I'm guessing it was a warmish summer's day because the doors were open and we were stood chewing the fat, looking out at the world going by basically, when a truck pulled up outside, an articulated wagon, which wasn't unusual. We used to get a lot of truck drivers who'd stop to take advantage of the snack wagon that used to park outside the showroom, and also sometimes come in, have a wander around. We had several customers that drove trucks and they'd make it their stop if they were in the area, but also many truck drivers knew that we'd got facilities that were always there and clean, so they'd use our facilities as well. So anyway, I'm still talking to this guy, nothing unusual happening. Truck pulls up outside, driver opens his door, leaps down from the cab, purposely walks into the showroom, acknowledges me and the salesman that are stood there, but walks straight past us. Turned right, headed down the showroom, gets halfway down the showroom, does another right, straight up to a desk where my good friend John is sat, doing some admin, doing some paperwork or whatever. This truck driver, in very identifiable German, basically asked directions of John to somewhere just outside Doncaster, his destination. John, without taking breath, gives perfect directions in fluent German to this truck driver, then walks with him to the door, still having a conversation in German, and clarifies the instructions as to where the driver needs to go. Stood on the doorstep, bids his farewells to the driver, jumps in his cab. John turns round to see me and the other salesman sat there. Our jaws have dropped, they're on the floor, and he looks at us and he's like, what's wrong? I looked at John and said, John, how did he know to walk past us and to walk up to your desk because you were the one in the showroom that knew how to speak German fluently? John at that point hadn't realised what had just happened and just went, oh yeah. John was bilingual. His mother is German, been living in his country most of her life, but she was born in Germany, so he was brought up speaking German and English. So yeah, again, sometimes your salespeople have skills that come in useful in unexpected ways. So yeah, a couple of the more humorous stories from my time on the showroom floor. Hope you enjoyed that. Short and sweet this time. I'll try and do a few more. My next video, because we're coming up to Christmas, I'm going to try and get one more in just before Christmas, or to release over the Christmas period. I'm going to change tack a little bit. I have over the years amassed quite a collection of DVDs that have some link with bikes, bikers, biker movies, whatever you want to call them. Okay, So I'm going to do my top 10 picks of biker movies for Christmas. So see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. As always, please share, please subscribe. But more than anything, I'll see thee.